everyone, and welcome to the first day of Fieldwork at Langstone Harbour.
In this art bite, we'll give you a rundown of Langstone during prehistory, as well as what we've discovered over the course of the day.
Today, due to the weather and some boat-related difficulties, we didn't actually manage to get out to the four islands. Instead, we worked our way along the north coast of Hayling Island, finding and recording any archaeological finds along the way.
Today we're also joined by two volunteers, so let's quickly meet them before we get started.
I am Rodrigo Pacheco. I'm doing my PhD in the University of Southampton.
I'm Edwin Pearson. I've been studying in and around the harbour for the past 5 years. I've never actually worked in this part, the Victorian oyster beds, so I just cycled down today to give you guys a hand.
Prehistory spans a large period of time and is divided into the periods of the Paleolithic, Mesolithic, Neolithic, the Bronze Age and the Iron Age. Our first evidence of human activity is in the Paleolithic, when the climate is much warmer than it has been in the centuries prior to the last ice age. Scatters of flint, probably used to make stone tools, are concentrated on the western coast of Hayling Island, brought to the surface through the displacement of deposits as the landscape was being remoulded over time.
Many flints were also found on each of the four islands in the north of the harbour too. Researchers believe these are later than those on Hayling and are in fact from the Mesolithic. Tools, over 3,000 of them, a large amount of which are hand axes, represent a fairly limited toolkit with sporadic usage. It's possible they were also using bone or wooden tools that have not survived for us to find.
Throughout the Mesolithic though, the landscape was changing. The freshwater environment at the Paleolithic was changing to a marine environment, but it didn't stop the expanding Mesolithic populations from spreading out.
During the Neolithic, however, the rapid rise of sea levels slowed down, and this period is characterised once again by flint tools, but also contains more scatters that relate to the production of said tools. It is during this period that pottery begins to appear. Neolithic pottery looks nothing like pottery of today. It is usually a dark colour with a large amount of inclusions and quite thick.
In mid to late Bronze Age, an urnfield cemetery is established on one of the four northern islands. It includes several large cinerary urns, which are used to hold the remains of those who were cremated. So around this time we also see metal finds turn up: copper alloy rings, pearl staves, arm rings and even a pin.
Up until this point, according to paleoenvironmental data, the harbour had been dry land. Now, however, sea levels have risen and it had become a coastal plain with extensive peat blankets, meandering streams and localised salt marsh. The human population also increased at this time, which results in a greater variety of archaeological finds. Rather than simply flint or pottery, a variety of metal objects and possibly hearts have been found in the area. The four islands in particular have had a high density of Bronze Age finds, suggesting that at this stage in history they were still dry land. For the wetter areas, however, trackways may have been used to traverse them. A timber post between Farlington Marsh and the west coast of Hayling Island may represent such a thing.
From the Iron Age onwards, the harbour was a tidal inlet with areas of salt production on the margins, and it becomes a much more maritime place. Most of the archaeological evidence at this time comes from the salt working areas on the west coast of Hayling, North Venice Island and the fringes of Farlington Marshes. It includes boiling pits and flues for extracting salt water from the sea. There is little other direct evidence of the Iron Age activity in the harbour. As much as the pottery originally identified as being Iron Age is possibly from the late Bronze Age.
All in all, today has been a good day. Despite a bit of rain and a lot of wind, we got a lot done.
We hope you'll join us tomorrow for our third art bite, and we'll hopefully get out to the islands and give you a rundown of the Romans and Langstone, and also the processes of field walking and how to get involved in the future.
Thanks for watching, see you tomorrow. Bye!